Welcome to the Determined Mom Show, the only marketing podcast dedicated to guiding mom CEOs into tranquility, wealth, and multiplying those precious moments. Welcome to episode 177 of the Determined Mom Show. I am so glad that you're here and listening to this episode. It is a must listen for every single person that has a website, whether you're a business, whether you just have a blog, any of those things. You really need to have Google Analytics installed. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to tell if you have Google Analytics installed on your website and why you should. You should have Google Analytics installed on your website because you need to. No, I'm just kidding. There are many other reasons, but that is one of them. What is Google Analytics? We have to start with knowing what Google Analytics can do for you. Google Analytics will track all of the traffic going to your website. So it's going to not only track the traffic going to your website, it will track where they're from, it will track what device they're using, it will track absolutely everything about those people. Then it will also track where those people came from. So I don't mean like where they live, although they do track where they live, but it will also track if your Pinterest pins are driving traffic, if your TikToks are driving traffic, if your YouTube channel is driving traffic. All of those things are going to be you're going to be able to see all of those things super quickly in Google Analytics. So very simple, very easy to look at. I highly recommend that everyone that has a website has Google Analytics because you're going to be able to see so much more than you can see without it. The other thing that it can do, and this is a really important one if you're running ads or if you're trying to push from a particular social media platform, it's going to track conversion. So let's say you have a free download and you want to know that you're not missing any. Sometimes there are technical glitches that happen and you may be getting people added to your list that aren't showing up, or you may have people say, oh, I downloaded this, but I'm not on the list, and all of these things. So let's say that's happening. There's some kind of glitch and you're not sure how many people are actually downloading your free, whatever that is, free guide or free worksheet, anything. So you're not sure how many people are actually converting on that download. So you can actually track that with Google Analytics. You can track when they click a button. You can track when they click a phone number to call you. You can track so many different things. You can track a website page visit. So these things are all really important in knowing whether or not whatever you're doing in your marketing is working. So important. The last 3 pick my brain calls that I've had scheduled in the last couple of weeks have all revolved around Google Analytics, making sure that it's installed, making sure that it's installed correctly. That's a really important one because if you have multiple websites, it's super easy to get the wrong tag installed on the wrong site, and it's just kind of a mess if you do that. Really important to make sure that all of those things are, done properly, and just make sure that everything's connected and talking to each other. You can also connect your Google Analytics to your Google Ads, and you can connect both of those things to Google Search Console, which we're going to be talking about in episode 179. Stay tuned for that episode, but definitely, there's no question you have to have Google Analytics installed. Now that we've established what it is, why you need it, let's talk about how you can quickly check and see if you have it installed on your website without even logging in, without having to do, go into the back end of your website, all that stuff. You can do it right now. Take 2 seconds. And if you're on a desktop, you're going to go to your website and you are going to, I always open in Chrome, so that's up to you. Open your website and you're going to right click and you're going to go to view page source. Okay. So you're viewing the page source. So you're going to do a Control F and you're going to type in analytics and then hit enter. And you're going to see how many times analytics shows up. My particular website has it 8 times because I have other analytics installed as well. So it's not just Google Analytics, but as long as you see a tag that has Google Analytics, so it's going to say developers.google.com/analytics. So That is what you want to see to know that you have analytics installed. The other thing that you're going to want to make sure that you do is make sure that you have access to your Google Analytics. If a web designer or web developer or SEO created or installed your Google Analytics, you want to make sure that you have the ownership for your Google Analytics. And you just do that by having them invite you as a user on your Google Analytics. And there is nothing that should really hold you back from doing that today. And all you're going to do is go ahead and create your account. You just type in your domain name where it says create property. And I highly suggest you can create a UA account, which is a Universal Analytics account. But I also highly suggest creating a G4 account and getting used to, if you're just starting out, using that kind of tracking, because the UA, Universal Analytics, is actually going to be phased out. I do believe it's in either July of this year or July of next year. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's really, really important that you make sure that it's installed, that you install the global site tag. So it's going to give you a little bit of code, and you're just going to put that in the header of your website, and it will track all of your pages. If you want to do some conversion tracking and things like that, it is a little bit more complicated, but not much. So keep that in mind. You can also use something called Google Tag Manager in order to test and install tags and conversions on your website. So if you need any help with this, please, please, please reach out. You can go to our website and you can easily click on contact, and then there is a book a call link in that little drop-down menu. That's how you can go ahead and book a Pick My Brain call so that we can spend an hour together and really go through your analytics, really go through making sure that you have your sitemap submitted to Search Console, making sure everything is hooked up, making sure, and even every time that I do a Pick My Brain call, honestly, we find lots of other things in the back end of your website that either need cleaned up or updated, or something's not working. So that's a really, really important thing as well. It's almost like a checkup, if you will. I would consider a Pick My Brain call a checkup sometimes. Sometimes we do strategy, but a lot of times it ends up being a marketing checkup. Thank you for listening. Please leave a review for us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it's now called. And also share this episode with any of your friends and family that own a website. All right, talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the Determined Mom Show. We appreciate you, and we would love for you to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. This will help us reach as many other moms as we can. Don't forget to download your 10 things you should be doing to get more clients from Google Search Guide at rebrand.ly/Google10.